Hello and welcome back to Rewiring Neurons. So, we have been talking about emotions, right? And we have started this beautiful series of knowing what emotion is. And then maybe later on, we may pinpoint, how to know what emotions we are going through and how to take care of emotions. So, continuing with the series, in the last series, we just talked a little theoretical about emotions, the various theories, and all those things, because that forms the basis of, whatever we are going to explore in emotions. So, moving further, today, believe me, I'm going to discuss something which is very interesting. If I say emotions, what comes to your mind? Probably a smiling face, some joy, some happiness, some sadness, some anger, disgust, or jealousy, right? I think this is what comes to our mind when we say emotions. I'm perfectly fine because these are all what literally are known as emotions. और जब भी हम बोलते हैं इमोशंस यही सारे पिक्चर्स हमारे सामने आते हैं इनफैक्ट वी मे विजुअलाइज सम हैप्पीनेस विच इज वी हैव seen and some sadness which we would have suffered. So all these things literally categorize themselves as emotions. When I started studying about emotions and knowing more and more, believe me, I got very interested in exploring various facets of emotions. So I have thought that whatever I have come to know, I'll definitely share with you. In fact, when I say types of emotions, you will be, very much interested, I'm sure, to know that various theorists and psychologists have, come up with their categories of emotions, right? So if we start discussing the very first category, in fact, the categorization of emotions, which was given by the father of emotions himself, that is Paul Ekman. So Paul Ekman stated that there are 6 basic emotions, and these 6 basic emotions are named as sadness, happiness, fear, anger, surprise, and disgust. So, according to him, there are these 6 basic emotions. Initially, he proposed them. So, when you say, happiness, what does it mean? It simply means a pleasant emotional state that elicits feelings of joy, contentment, and satisfaction. So if we say sadness, it's an emotion which is characterized by disappointment, grief, or hopelessness. Similarly, fear is something which is important for survival, and this is something wherein we our fight or flight mode gets triggered. So similarly, anger is something which is more characterized by hostility and frustration, and surprise is can be either positive or negative, and it is something which is unexpected. And disgust is again a very strong emotion that results in the feeling of being repulsed. So these are the 6 types of emotions which Paul Ekman talked about, and he said that these are the basic emotions and all other emotions are built on these emotions. In fact, in 1991 he expanded this list, and there were a lot of many other emotions which he included, but unfortunately that didn't become very popular and was not accepted by many of the people. So till date we know him for his 6 basic emotions, and that is what he is associated with. So these were the 6 basic emotions which he talked and he dealt in detail with. So the next popular category or the type of emotion was given by Robert Putnick, and he gave 8 emotions which he called as basic emotions. And as per him, the 8 emotions are sadness, joy, fear, anger, surprise, disgust, and he included 2 more which were anticipation and trust. So basically the 6 emotions which was given by Paul Ekman, that remained, and apart from this, two more emotions were added by Robert Plutnik. In fact, I'm going to cover his emotional wheel, which is very very significant in understanding emotions, interpreting emotions, and pinpointing the emotions which we tend to feel. And in fact, you'll be very surprised to know that a lot of psychologists use his wheel of emotions with their patients to identify what they are feeling, what emotion they are feeling. In fact, Putnik's wheel of emotion is very very important for helping adults as well as kids to identify their emotions. In fact, a lot of psychologists take the help of this emotional wheel of emotions, to help people identify and pinpoint their emotions. And now, why this is very important is because, as I've already said in many of my videos, that if you are able to identify the emotions and pinpoint them, half of your problem is solved. So I'm going to take up this wheel of emotions by Putnik in detail in my next video, because this wheel has got so much of information, and this information can help us and we can help others in identifying and dealing with their emotions. So that I'm going to take up in detail in one of my next videos for sure. So moving on from this 8 basic emotions to 4 emotions, four basic emotions, which was given in 2014 by University of Neuroscience and Psychology at Glasgow. So this institute stated that there are 4 basic emotions. In fact, they discarded 2 emotions by saying that these emotions has got same physical expressions or biological basis are the same. It's just that depending on the culture and the country, the expressions may differ. So basically there is no difference. And the 4 emotions which they stated as basic are anger and disgust, which they said ki is almost the same. Surprise and fear, again for them is same. And third is sadness, and the fourth is happiness. So they said that these are the 4 basic emotions, and all the other emotions come from these 4 emotions. So these are the 3 famous categories of emotions which anybody and everybody will come across if you tend to deep down in the field of emotions. So one gave the 6 basic emotions, that is Paul Ekman, and second gave 8 basic emotions, that is Robert Putnik, and the institute gave 4 basic emotions. So again, let me tell you, all these 6, 8 and 4 are basic emotions. And why do I emphasize on the word basic emotion is, I'll tell you now. Because when you say basic emotions, there is a second category of emotions which exist, which are known as compound emotions. Now, how can you categorize basic and compound emotions, and what are these? So let me put it for you in the most simplest way. Basic emotions, as a lot of psychologists believe, are something which are very easy to understand. Something like joy, happiness, and they are easy to understand, easy to interpret, and they remain same in most of the cultural context. So if somebody is sad or happy, they can be found out from the face itself in whatever country you are. Even if you are India or in America, if you are happy, you will smile. So this is basic emotion. But complex emotions are not that easy to understand. For example, jealousy. They say that jealousy is a combination of 2-3 emotions, and it cannot be interpreted very easily, because in different context and in different cultural background, the jealousy can be expressed in different ways. So basic emotions are easy to understand, are culturally neutral, which means that different cultures, maybe they remain the same. compound are difficult to understand and interpret, and it is contextual. Also, it is made up of two or three basic emotions. Also, it is said that the basic emotions are produced automatically, so it is very instinctive. But as far as complex emotions are concerned, they are not produced automatically. They require cognitive ability, means people think and then they produce complex emotions. Also, basic emotions are pure and they cannot be deconstructed. But as far as your complex emotions are concerned, they are combination of multiple emotions. In fact, here I like to give you an example of a basic emotion and a complex emotion. As I said, joy, fear, anger, all these are basic emotions. And complex emotions are something which combine two, three basic emotion and take their form. For example, hate is regarded as a complex emotion which consists of fear, anger, and disgust as their basic emotions. Also, another example of complex, emotion is grief, and it is said that grief is a combination of basic emotion consisting of surprise, denial, sadness, and anger. In fact, it's also said that anger may be a part of grief in few cultures. In few other cultures, anger may not be a part of grief. So this is the way complex emotions are a little difficult to understand. And again, it's not culturally neutral, so depending on the culture also we tend to interpret complex emotions. So I hope we have some understanding as of now of basic and complex emotions, because I feel we have made our life complex, and earlier there were only basic emotions which existed, and with our complex life we have made our emotions also a little complex, so the category of complex emotion arise. But having said that, it's interesting to know how emotions play a role, in fact a very very big role in all our lives. With this concept, I'll just like to stop today's video. I hope there was some learning out of my today's content, and thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed and stay happy. See you in my next video.